August 1st, 2010, I received a phone call that no mom wants to receive. And it was the police department letting me know that my son, Sean, who is 19 years old, was killed by a drunk driver. I don't think that as a mom, you ever get over losing a child. It's not something you expect. In 2016, Byron had a heart attack, and sorry. I was thrust into single parenthood, and Genesis, who was only 6 at the time, became fatherless. I think because I couldn't save him, that I carried a lot of guilt. When I started CPR, they tell you when you do CPR training that you're gonna break ribs. I wasn't prepared for that snap, which happened, and I stopped, and I beat myself up about it later. Like, if I had not stopped then, if I had kept going, maybe it would have been different. It was really hard to figure out how we were gonna live life. When we lost her dad, it was a big loss for her because she was a daddy's girl, and he did everything with her. I had a friend at work who suggested that I go to the Port St. Lucie campus and check it out. When we found Christ Fellowship, that gave us the piece we'd been missing with church. The atmosphere was different than anywhere else. You felt the love coming off of people. You felt the genuine care and concern. At Genesis School, a dance they offer every year is the father-daughter dance, and since her father has died, it's been really hard for her the last 3 years. This last time, Genesis couldn't wait to get dressed. She couldn't get into her dress fast enough and get into her high tops fast enough to get there and meet Mr. Kenneth.
I am a student here at SCU. I also work at our Christ Fellowship Port St. Lucie location, and I work on Wednesday nights doing Grief Share, where the parents can drop their kids off.
Grief Share came at a time when I really needed it, and I needed to deal with not just Byron's death, but also my son's death. There were things I hadn't dealt with there, and the community really took care of me and encouraged me.
Seeing her situation and knowing that she didn't have her father in her life and hearing her story kind of struck a chord with me as someone who grew up in a single-parent household. One of the other parents had kind of seen the connection that Genesis and I had, came up to me and asked, "Hey, we have this father-daughter dance coming up. Would you be interested in taking Genesis to the dance?"
Her excitement around the opportunity to go, and to go with somebody who was a father figure as opposed to a mom, I think that just made a huge difference to her. And because our church really promotes that atmosphere, it opens up opportunities for young men like Kenneth to take a little girl to a father-daughter dance, even when he doesn't know the impact it's gonna have. I'm glad that Christ Fellowship didn't stop at Seward and came up to Port St. Lucie. We would not have found Christ Fellowship if it hadn't been in Port St. Lucie. And we would not have found our tribe and our people if it hadn't been for that. We have a real family that we've built in Port St. Lucie at Christ Fellowship. My heart for this house is just, well, obviously to see my daughter grow up in this church, to see her grow up at Christ Fellowship, and to continue to get involved and continue to be part of the community.
I love that I could be a part of a church that is making an impact in kids' lives, where they get to come and learn about the love and message of Jesus Christ, and where I can come and play a small part in the story of someone like Genesis and impacting her future.